Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Minnesota Timberwolves staying alive last night. We'll get back to that. First, big news that could impact what's going on with the Kings and their coaching situation. And thank you. I think, Drapes, you were the one that sent me this note today.
Yeah.
Ty Lue signing a new deal through the 28-29 season. That'll make him one of the NBA's highest paid coaches at approximately $14 million per year.
The price is going up. The price is going up. Ty Lue has not won a championship with the Clippers, mind you. He won one with Cleveland, and so, he's a championship-level coach, but he's only, he had the finals. Mike Brown's been to a finals before, so it isn't that far of a stretch, in my opinion. If Ty Lue's getting 14, why can't Mike get 9? Why can't Mike get 10? And so I think, sort of similar to the Ayuk situation, the more coaches that come along, the higher the price is going to be. And so you might as well lock in Mike Brown now at a reasonable price, 9 or 10. That should get it done. Instead, if you wait till next year, the price might be up to 12. And he gets you to the playoffs again, his value is going to go up even more.
I don't pretend to know what happened here, so I'm not, suggesting I do. But what do you think happened to the mutual option for next year? Because it looks like he probably declined it, right? And I don't know. It was a mutual option for not this coming season, but the following year.
Did he have to already
I
don't think he had to. I don't think he had to pick that up or not pick that up yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's sort of like Ty Lue's situation. Ty Lue's going into the final year of his deal, and they got it done a year before. I think for the Kings' sake, this, in my opinion, is the final year of Mike Brown's deal. I don't think they've talked about the extension yet, because picked it up or declined it one way or the other.
Fair enough. I could see how from the Kings' standpoint, they might say, look, we're going to pick up that extra year. We'll pick up the option year, and then we'll see where we are. But it looks like Mike Brown, and again, I don't know any of this. Mike Brown's looking at it as, I just had 2 great years. This is my time to get paid. So maybe he's declined that option, maybe not. But I'm thinking maybe he has, because he wants to put the pressure on the team to where they have to do something about it now. And they have to pay him now.
Yeah, and I also think...
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a guess. Yeah. I'm not accusing him of anything.
I think he views, this upcoming season as sort of his last year, a lame duck kind of year. Because no matter what, even if he has a successful season, he's going to opt out. Like, if I'm a coach and I have an option and I'm still in my prime, it's sort of like a player. Now, if Mike Brown was 70 years old on his way out, overpaid, then you pick up the option. But if you have a chance to renegotiate and get an extension, he's going to opt out no matter what.
Yes, you're right.
It's just good business to do that, right? It's just good business to sort of, reset the market for your salary. I think he's viewing this as the final year of his contract. So let's get it done now instead of waiting the year.
Carmichael Dave said, believe it or not, he said something interesting today.
Oh, did he?
In addition to everything he said with you.
I was about to say, in addition to my stats, okay, what else?
Because he was talking to Alan during the crossover, and Alan was talking about Mike Brown's camp leaking what came out on Friday. Dave says, and again, I'm assuming Dave is extremely well connected with minority ownership. An assumption again. Dave says, well, I'm not sure that came from Mike's camp, because he says Woj typically gets his information from ownership. So that's the school of thought. Yesterday, we both decided it probably came from Mike's camp. Again, it being the leaking of the story Friday. My first reaction when it came out was that this is a news dump. This smells like something the team would release. And Dave seems to think, this was the team kind of sending a message back to Coach Brown. Like, all right, well, we're going to table discussions then. Well, I'm not sure who the message is coming from.
I'm not sure who it's coming from, but then that goes back to what happened Thursday or Friday morning, whenever, with Dave's, messaging that, it's not a matter of if, but when, and, like, who's that side from then? I can't believe that's from Mike Brown's side. I wouldn't guess so. Like you said, minority ownership team. And so what we heard Thursday from Dave and then Friday from Woj, it can't be from the same source, can it? Unless something happened overnight or something changed. But, Woj also gets his stuff from agents too. And not only player agents, but coaching agents as well, and team sources too. And so I don't know who it came from. I do know whoever leaked that information, it wasn't the right thing to do. Whether it was Mike Brown's side, the Kings side, it was literally a Woj bomb. We're thinking, yeah, there's some contentious talks. They're working on it. We didn't know there was a gulf between the two. And so that put kerosene on the fire.
Especially
even more.
It to Woj.
Right.
Magnifies it. Yeah.
Yes.
And to your point, and again, I don't know, but Dave said, Woj typically gets stuff from ownership, sometimes agents, but he seems to think it's from ownership because it was Woj. I don't know, but it's a little puzzling here. Dave also said, for what it's worth, he expects they're going to get this thing settled. Still, he said, I'm sticking to my guns. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Let
Jeff.
me hear what this guy had to say. This Carmichael Dave earlier today.
And again, this isn't exact, but generally, if it's Shams, that's going to be agent camp. If it's Woj, generally it's team camp.
So if the closer wasn't here, why would the team put out this information?
It's a good question, and I don't know if it's a leverage situation. And again, I don't want to. There's no way for me saying this without sounding presumptuous. But you remember Ham said the thing, and then I said the thing, and then the next day Woj said the thing, and I don't know if those had anything to do with it. And I certainly don't think anything we reported would have affected negotiations in any way. It was just weird that those three things happened, kind of in succession of each other. It's a negotiation. It's just unfortunate that it went public. And yeah, it's a bad look. And I think they'll get it done. And I think at the end, it'll be like, no, a lot of this is blown out of proportion, because they have to be careful to not say too much that it was blown out of proportion, because what happens? You piss off Adrian Wojnarowski and make him look bad.
Yeah, I don't see how that's a concern.
Right.
Making Woj look bad.
bad.
But yeah, a little more context. You heard Alan there say something about the closer. Dave said his understanding is one of the reasons this deal isn't further along is because the closer is not around. Whoever that would be, someone who helps the Kings close these deals. That's what he said. I don't know. You're not buying a lot of that.
I'm not buying it. And Dave's our guy. He's my guy. We got a good relationship. But here's why it doesn't make sense that the leak on Friday was from the team. What would the team gain from that? What does the team, the organization, get out of leaking that information? Who looks worse, the worst, out of the two sides from leaking that information? The team comes off with nobody saying, oh, Mike Brown's being unreasonable, all that. No, it's, the Kings are doing Kings things again. And so that's why I don't think the leak is from the organization. It just doesn't make sense to leak that information. And I would say it doesn't make sense to leak that information because it wasn't even a topic. It wasn't like for the team to leak that, it had to be in response to something else. But there was nothing else unless it was Carmichael Dave's report the day before. He's saying, but for them to say, use the term a gulf, and Adrian Wojnarowski didn't just come up with that term. Somebody said that to him, that the word, there's a gulf between the two sides. It doesn't make sense for the team to release that information.
The only reason they do that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I don't know.
Yeah,
but to answer your question would be, right, it would be the team looking at that, looking at the way things are being spun here and saying, we gotta establish, we still haven't decided on an amount. We need to dig in here and send the message to Mike Brown and his representatives that this ain't over yet. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that would be a reason why they did it. I agree with you. It would not be a good reason to do it. But the whole thing's kind of hard to figure.
But was there any momentum, like, other than what Carmichael Dave said? Like, Shams hadn't said anything.
You're right.
Woj
I understand.
Like,
I understand.
It's almost a preemptive strike, if you will. Like, and so I don't know how it operates over there. I hope it's not, Kings doing Kings things. I just find it hard to believe that this organization, mind you, and let's keep it real, since Monty McNair has taken over, they've been one of the most tight-lipped organizations out there. When it came to the Tyrese Halliburton trade, nobody knew. Keegan Murray, a lot of people got that wrong in terms of, mock drafts and who they were going to take. They've been a tight-lipped organization over the last couple of years. And so I find it hard to believe that the leak would come from that organization.
Right. It seems kind of self-defeating.
Yeah.
But one way or the other, whatever it's going to be, they got to get it settled fast, right?
Yeah.
With all the things that the organization has to accomplish, they've got to get this thing settled.
And here's the thing. You're right, Whitey. You got the draft. You got free agency, summer league, all that, trades and everything. Mike still has at least 1 year left on his contract. But in terms of the optics, the vibes, he can't go into this season without something getting done. Right. Something has to get done because it's already seems like it's turned contentious, the headline grabbing. Can you imagine if Mike is pissed off of not a new deal? Get this done so that we can go back to singing Kumbaya and lighting the beam instead of focusing on this kind of stuff.
Ant-Man is the perfect teammate for Cat. Tell you why when we come back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss